Right. Let's take a look at the dailies this morning. And we're going to start with the Daily Nation. What is it talking about? It's talking about how ruling elite in the country shared career jobs. An analysis of recruitment data from a career report tabled in Parliament shows that Thika Town, Kiharu and Tarbo were among constituencies from Kenya Kwanza strongholds that took the lion's share of slots in the flawed hiring that has been annulled by the High Court. That is at page 4. And if you look at constituency, you look at Thika Town, that has 50, Kiharu, that has 50, Tarbo, that has 29, Moiben, that has 26, Kandara, that has 24, all the way to Kasarani, that has 22. You're going to read that story on a page 22 as well. If you look at this, from Easter, joy to pain, family loses 6 in crash. You're going to read that story of how Ms. Diana Nganga is overwhelmed by emotions during an interview at a home in a pipeline in Nakuru County yesterday. She lost 6 members of a family in a road accident that claimed 10 people on a Mombasa-Nairobi highway. That's a very sad story right here. Pictures there of Esther Wanjiru, Lemmy Masharia, and Esther Nyambura among those who lost their lives from that particular family. Sad story. Even as those accidents don't seem to abate, even as NTSA goes on the road to continue their crackdown on reckless drivers and unroadworthy vehicles currently as it is. All right, Raila once again is the ODM divisions as party announces staggered election succession wrangles have rocked the opposition party. Story has been covered on page 6 right there. International news on page 23. Trump calls migrants animals as U.S. presidential campaign hots up. Story has been covered on page 23. That's what it is. Doctors reject state offer as Nakhumicha faces ouster. You're going to read that story on the back page of the Daily Nation right there. All right, members of Parliament files motion seeking Nakhumicha's removal. It's on the back page, and this is according to Embakasi East Member of Parliament Babu Wino in a notice of motion filed with the Clerk of the National Assembly, Samuel Njoroge, cites 2 grounds for Mr. Nakhumicha's removal: gross violation of the Constitution and incompetence. That story has been covered heavily on the back page, and doctors also staying defiant and termed state's offer as contemptuous. That story has been covered on the back page of the Daily Nation as well, comprehensively. Good. Let's cross over to the Standard. Same story here. No pain as doctors say big no to offer. Now Kenyans are braced for more suffering after doctors and authorities failed to agree a day after state concessions shone a ray of hope on an ending strike. Yesterday, government warned some of the demands are unattainable. That story has been covered on page 4, 5, and 6. All right. Grade 9 to remain in primary school. PS Bello now insists. Story has been covered on page 2. And why Kenya is alarmed by Uganda. You're going to read that story around shipping and logistics. Story has been covered on page 20. And ODM funds plea as it rolls out polls timetable. Now, nearly 10 years after drama unfolded during its grassroots elections, ODM will hold polls to pick its leaders starting end of this month. However, the party is crying foul over delay in releasing political party funds. So they're asking you to contribute as it is. That's what it is. A picture right there of ODM leaders in that presser after those crunch talks yesterday. Part of this is what is going to make our conversation this morning on the asset test in political parties now as they approach those party primaries. Now, fat cats at Center of Fertilizers come. Tried to kill story. Now, powerful politicians reached out to a journalist in an attempt to have an investigative story on the fake fertilizer scandal dropped. A House committee has been told. Story has been covered on page 9. Internationally, the Taiwan earthquake already has had 9 killed, and as the authorities again continue to look for more victims of this particular quake. And on the back page, you're going to read about Man United and Chelsea collide. Really? Is it Man United and Chelsea colliding or Man United and Chelsea play? The inconsequential in this title conversation. Should have just said Man United and Chelsea play. Them losing or winning would have no. It's done for them. No, you should have had news about Arsenal and Manchester City winning yesterday and Liverpool playing today. Not Man United and Chelsea. Small boys and small clubs playing tonight. It's not worth an entire page of the story. Yeah. Anyway, Liverpool play Sheffield United tonight, and every game between Manchester City, Arsenal, and Liverpool is a must-win. If indeed the title running is going to make sense. So Liverpool, it's back to you. You flinch, you lose it. Right, that's what it is this morning on your newspapers. We take a tiny breather. Once we come back, I'll be taking you straight to our newsroom this morning. Good morning. Doctors in the country have rejected the government's call to end the strike until all their demands in accordance with the 2017 CBA are fully met. This comes amid plans by a section of legislators to impeach House CS Susan Nakumincha. Let's take a look.
The doctors have vowed to continue with their strike with a section of MPs led by MP Githunguri Gathoni wa Mushomba and those of Azimio coalition including Narok Senator Ledama Olekina, MPs Babu Owino, Mark Mwenje, Meshi Mboko, Amos Mwago, as well as the doctors chairperson Abijan Mwachi. Among other leaders have hinted that as soon as the parliament resumes from short recess, they will present a bill to send parking health CS Susan Nakumincha.
Pay their 12,000 shillings, which was said. Number two, don't belittle the work which is done by the interns by paying them less than 30,000 shillings, even less than a security officer. Number three, they are saying that they are overworked. They cannot continue working, many hours. The health ministry is sick. The country is sick. And therefore, as a result of that, we have come up with an impeachment motion. We are going back on Tuesday to Parliament, and this is the letter that we've sent to the clerk of the National Assembly so far on an impeachment motion that we want to impeach the Cabinet Secretary for Health.
Matters baby care and antenatal, matters cancer. I thought those are things that having a woman minister and a woman PS in the same docket, I thought we would have the ceiling uncovered. But I'm very disappointed with Nakumincha.
Additionally, the doctors' union has vowed to go on with their strike until the government completely implements the 2017-2021 collective bargaining agreement.
Pay us what you owe us. Employ doctors, even if they are not tenders, we know. So it is not attractive. But do the godly thing. Having said that, our doctors remain solid. And we are going to have the mother of all demonstrations of Tuesday, ostensibly, to look for the government.
Concurrently, the doctor's chairperson, Dr. Abijan Mwachi, has promised the mother of demonstration in the country on Tuesday, despite the government indicating that the approval of 2.4 billion shillings, calling on graduate doctors to avail themselves at the ministry headquarters so as to collect posting letters.
Kuna jambo ambalo ni jambo zito. Tunaona pesa nyingi zinatumika kiolela. Pesa nyingi zinatumika kwa mambo madogo madogo. Ati hospitality, sijui kumetumika mamilioni mangapi. Ati sijui travels, kumetumika mamilioni mangapi. Na jambo la afya linawekwa nyuma, jambo la afya ambalo ni jambo ambalo ndo litasimamisha nchi ama litaangusha nchi.
The MPs have faulted the government and asked Nakumincha to account for the entire ministry as they expressed their rage.
The increasing high cost of living in this country, how do you dare reduce the salary of a medical doctor? It is very shameful, and we are calling the government to order. All this that has happened to this country, if we are in a very civilized country, 21 days of doctors striking, surely that calls for impeachment even of the president.
approve that, even if it needs to be done within the supplementary 2 that is coming up. So we are pleading with the government that before Tuesday, when we table our motion, kindly sit down with these doctors and let us have an applicable solution.
Stanley Lugaria, Lookuptv.
Head of Public Service Felix Kosgei has urged doctors to bear with the government as it lacks financial capacity to sustain the 207,000 shillings to pay intern doctors. He has called on intern doctors to accept the 70,000 that the government is offering, noting that the health sector is in a crisis.
Just a day after the national government, through the head of public service, in a statement noted its intention to solve the ongoing stalemate in the health sector, setting aside $2.4 billion for the internship program. The head of public service now says the demands by the doctors are unsustainable, noting that the pay for intern doctors is too high.
206,000 per intern is unsustainable. It is impossible. The numbers that graduate every day is increasing. Clinical officers, we pay them. Nurses, we pay them. Doctors, we pay them. It is becoming unsustainable. From 4 billion, it goes now to 8 billion. I don't know whether it is now 12 billion. It is not possible.
Kosgei, while lamenting over the high cost to be incurred if the interns were to be paid the said amount, noted that much emphasis should be paid to the internship itself, as opposed to the pay.
Why don't we, for once, focus on the intention of internship? This internship was to enable this doctor to hone his skills and to end up getting a license where now he can go and practice. So why don't we make sure that all of them, within the budget that we have, go through them? That is why we said we are setting aside 2.4 billion. To take all of them, I think they are 1,200.
Speaking in Naivasha, Nakuru County, Kosgei has called on doctors to resume duty, insisting that the government is committed to ensuring all other demands by the doctors are met.
Resume work, and then come we discuss and we clear, because we are intentional on this and we are committed to sort out once and for all, as the code directed, that there are issues that caused this strike and there are perennial grievances that have been developing this kind of a long time. And we are ready to discuss, we are ready to negotiate, we are ready to agree. And in any case, as government, as a responsible government, we have gone ahead to look at the 19 issues and see the ones that we can do it without necessarily sitting down and negotiating.
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
Kenyans relying on public medical services will continue to suffer a little longer after the court gave the Ministry of Health and doctors 14 more days to reach an agreement. Kenyatta National Hospital, which filed the case challenging the strike, told the court that they don't have the luxury of time as patients are losing their lives. The Council of Governors defended themselves, saying that they have participated fully in negotiations, but they are yet to reach an agreement with the doctors. But the Odm party has called for the resignation of KRA chairperson Anthony Maura, who was recently appointed head of UDA Elections Board. Onesimus Musonye with the details this morning.
ODM Central Committee, ODM has called on resignation of UDA party officials who are also serving in the civil service, saying that appointing civil servants into party positions will take the country back to the dark days of KANU.
We deliberated on the developments in other political parties and their implications for the nation and for democracy. In particular, the committee expressed deep concerns over developments in the UDA party, where public officers paid by taxpayers from all political formations have been appointed as party officials to various organs. We are staring at the return of the party state system last seen in the 1980s, where party leaders and public servants were one and the same thing.
The party leaders met at the headquarters with Secretary General Edwin Sifuna, noting that the party grassroots elections will be held in phases starting from April 27th.
Be that as it may, the committee has resolved to kick off the party grassroots elections on the 27th of April 2024.
ODM also accused the government of withholding political parties' funds, alleging that delay in releasing the funds is undermining political parties' operations.
A key issue canvassed at this meeting is the dire state the party finds itself in as a result of a government-instigated denial of funding. The Political Parties Fund was established to enhance democracy by promoting active participation by individuals in political life. Among other things, it is meant to cover election expenses of the political parties and broadcasting of the policies of the political parties. Unfortunately, this fund has become the death knell of parties it was meant to support. Since coming to office, the Kenya Kwanza regime has pursued a deliberate policy of denying funds to political parties, effectively crippling their operations.
Onesmus Msonye, Lookuptv.
The government is set to manage and control border activities by ensuring that human trafficking and smuggling are contained. Speaking in Nairobi, Immigration PS Julius Bitok indicated that Kenya's borders serve as a vital conduits for legitimate trade and travel, as Shamila Baraza now reports.
Against the backdrop of a globalized economy where business